Good morning, folks. Good morning, Kim. I believe Kim Lemons. Good morning, John Dunn. Have you watched this video yet? It's called Denver Police PD. Good morning, everybody. That's by 303 Cop Block. We are here live in the Lindsay Flanagan Courthouse. I am awaiting arraignment for myself, but I want you guys to make sure that you've taken some time to go to 303 Cop Block and watch this key video of Denver police officers yesterday, Sunday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, harass all of these old women who are feeding the homeless on the 16th Street Mall. These police officers right here, this detective and this sergeant, are obviously watching the unhoused individuals be fed, right? They walk up, they may have made a determination that feeding the homeless on the 16th Street Mall is not acceptable. And good, Brenda, I'm glad that you watched it yesterday. Did you call the mayor today? Did you call the chief of police today? Did you call Commander Sanchez of District 6 Police to look at how these police officers caused food to be spilled that people could no longer eat because it was dumped on the ground? Did you have a conversation about how immoral it is for all of these people to be forced to not eat? Or about how the people who showed up with badges and guns yesterday violated the Constitution of the United States of America? That's right, folks. They violated the Constitution of the United States of America. And the reason I'm telling you that is because the Supreme Court ruled that feeding the homeless is a religious freedom. And I want you guys to look at this. Religious freedom. Feed the homeless. We're doing a quick Google search. And there's some really good articles. Feeding the homeless requires religious freedom. If they really want to change, huh? That's good. Thank you, Kim. I can't unwrench you from here, Tony. You're just gonna have to live with it. Behavior is central to belief. Personal behavior stemming from belief, such as praying, worshiping, studying a sacred text, or spending time with people of the same faith, is generally accepted as legitimate actions closely connected to the practice of one's faith. Right? Spending with people who believe the same thing. So calling to serve others in the public square is an important tenet for so many people. Okay? And whether you want to use a faith-based piece like one I just pulled up there, or whether we look at the First Amendment, there's a lot of things that we need to talk about. But the ruled, and this is the key here, that a federal Fort Lauderdale man feeding the homeless is probably unconstitutional. That was September 1st, 2018. Okay? So it has been a redirect to examine that. And what we're called to do, folks, is to keep our eyes on these things. And you have to know that that this concept, I'm going to click on this highlight and see how well it works. There's a case, 822, right? There's the court docket number. City of Fort Lauderdale versus all of these friends. And why do I pull these things up? The understanding with context matters. Food shared with company differs greatly from a meal eaten alone. Unlike solitary supper, a feast requires the host to entertain and interact with guests. Yeah? Lady Macbeth knew this and chided her husband for not giving the cheer at a banquet depicted in Shakespeare's play. As she explained, to feed was best at home. From thence the sauce to meat is ceremony, meeting bare without it. And there's the tragedy of Macbeth. Okay? This weekly event at a public park, the 16th Street Mall, is a public space and sharing at no cost with those who gather to join in the meal. So this is really similar to what we're doing on the 16th Street Mall with Boycott the Urban Camping Ban, because it's a weekly event, no cost. We set up tables, and we're going to get in banners. If Janet or Eric or any of you guys, this is something that we need to focus on as a emblem and a banner to be clear that we're in protest, huh? Navin. There's some. Oh, Navin. That's what they say. Why is this guy sucking helium, Navin? That's what was being said. Anyway, the reason that we're covering this federal court case is we want to look at this. So the district courts gave a summary judgment in favor of the city. It held that it was not conduct protected by the First Amendment, and that the city and park rules were not vague. This is important, and I want you guys to know that the reason that we're reading this is it's peaceful social direct action. Direct action is protests. Okay, weekly food sharing events are a undisputed public forums where homeless congregate, and it's a battleground over the city's attempts to reduce the visibility of homelessness. These are key aspects. You guys, I want you guys to stop talking about Navin. It just doesn't. I don't care. Okay, I really care about the fact that this is what's key here. This is traditionally been a battleground over the city's attempts to reduce visibility of homelessness. Okay, that's what they're trying to do on the 16th Street Mall, is they are attempting to remove the visibility of homelessness. And that's why Boycott the Urban Camping Ban does protests, okay? We're communicating a message. Society can end hunger and poverty if we redirect our collective resources from military and war. That is food for human rights, not a privilege. So this is the food not bombs message, right? They are clearly indicating that they are protesting. Boycott the Urban Camping Ban suggests that repealing the urban camping ban, the laws that make it illegal to sit on the ground, to cover your face with anything other than an article of clothing, is an act of protest. Okay? We set up tables, just like these guys do. We distribute food, and as with our volunteers or our members or activists, right? These are all considered basically the same terminology. Good morning. And yes, so reducing the visibility is necessary. So we're in Occupy Denver, right? You see our logos out there with the fists. We don't have a carrot. We have a fist that says Occupy Denver. Okay, so those are affiliated items of a protest. And they enacted an ordinance here, which probably is basically to ours. Social services. So they're enacting a rule on what is social services. But what we want to do is we want to go to the Supreme Court. And this one here is important because it's 16-808. 16-16808. And let's see what happens in our Google search. Supreme Court. Let's see what happens when we get to this one here. Aha! Now you have seen that we found a new one. Plaintiffs. Oh, we don't know yet. The Corner Bakery. So the Corner Bakery is done. And we'll get to that in a moment. Because we're no longer protesting the Corner Bakery. The Corner Bakery has issued a letter to the city of Denver indicating that they are against the urban camping ban and such laws. So this is on appeal, right? This is the another filing that was filed, and per rule of federal appellate procedures. So brief is complete. Alternative. There are no parent corporations or publicly traded corporations that have an interest in this case. You guys, yes, we are. The Corner Bakery is baked. Yeah, they've backed off, and they're cooking a story that says that they are against the urban camping ban. They're against those kind of laws. So, guys, I'm just pulling some of this stuff up as we're talking live here while I'm waiting to be arraigned. And we don't need to cover all those details right now. Failed to draw all justifiable inferences in light of the most... The reason that we're pulling... Yeah, it can. Homelessness can happen to any of us. Is that a new PayPal? I did not know that one existed. So, lady, I'm going to tell you what. I'm not going to buy the 20% of the sales to the homelessness. And here's why I don't buy that. The situation regarding the Corner Bakery is that they get $1.50 per muffin or bagel that they cook, that they don't sell, that they give away. Okay? So... they could have given their donations to an organization of our choosing. They could have worked with us to have a realistic solution. They aren't even partnering with the Colorado Coalition of the Homeless at the coalition's weekly job fair. So I'm calling malarkey on all the crap that the Corner Bakery is claiming. Dennis, get off my page if you're going to do that, okay? I just don't care. That is not what this page is about. So somebody just silence him, please, right now. Lady, just gone. I want him out of here. Silent. Here, can I do that? Oh, look at that. I'm putting you in a timeout. There we go. So... the full point of this, and hopefully you guys are reading some of these things on the screen, the appeal presents the court with an important opportunity to clarify the limits on cities' use of police power to criminalize or otherwise regulate people like the plaintiffs who seek to protest hunger and war by sharing food in public parks and other traditional public fora. What is public fora? That is an interesting word that I think you guys need to recognize. Public fora is a place where, we're going to copy this and prove myself right, but I'm inferencing public fora as a public forum, a place where the conversation is engaged. Exactly. A public forum or an open forum is open to all expression that is protected under the First Amendment. Streets, parks, and sidewalks are considered open to public discourse by tradition and are designated as traditional public forums. Why, guys, you guys have to understand why we're building all of this, okay? Why are you seeing all of these things? Yes, the average person's income is under $55,000. And 99% of the population fights for 1% of the wealth, right? These are the tenets of Occupy. The idea that the 1% rule and the rest of us okay, BD, whatever that was right there that you just said, demons be driven. Send me an email at cuttheplastic@gmail.com. We can have those discourses, okay? So why is this? Why, you guys need to understand. I need to stay on topic here. I'm hiding messages right now. The appeals courts are being exacted here, and is what did the city fail to do? The city failed to draw, the district court failed to draw all justifiable inferences in light of the most favorable non-moving plaintiff parties, disregarded undisputed facts, including what is a public protest and what is a public forum. Okay? So the sidewalk is a public forum. The sidewalk has become private property, though, because businesses like the Downtown Denver Partnership, which is a business, right? It is a lobbyist group, and it is a collection of entities that are dues-paying members to promote their agendas. Their agendas include criminalizing homeless people, ensuring that women who live in domestic violence situations do not have the right to public sanctuary. Public sanctuary would be a place in public, like a sidewalk, where a forum can be held, right? Public fora. Sidewalks are public fora. People sleeping on the sidewalk because there's not places to live, that's a protest. Okay? And when you do it in the middle of the business district, in the middle of the public space, like we're doing here, or we can go back to this, because maybe not all of you are familiar with this.
And it gets some good dialogue with these cops, man. Every time they see a camera, it's like openly biased police officers. That's what I see.
Openly biased police officers. Why? Why is 303 Cop Watch like that?
That's my fucking hero right here.
That guy's my hero.
Yeah.
He's getting a ticket for police officers determining that feeding on the 16th Street Mall is illegal. Lost my feed. Well, it's probably because I was running a Wi-Fi on top of it. So hopefully we're still here. This is 303 Cop Block, right there. Go give him a like and a share. Right? What happened on Sunday is that these police officers, right? These police officers decided that it was acceptable to ticket people for feeding the homeless. But this is the case, 16-16-808, right? That's the Supreme Court, or the district case. So, this is a long material. We should look up Victoria here, Florida Legal Services. Give her some big thanks. They're filing amicus curiae briefs. Oh, what's an amicus curiae brief, you asked? That's a great question. You want me to refresh? Great, I'll refresh. Let's do that. Okay, I reconnected. Hopefully that's better for y'all. What is an amicus curiae brief? So we'll copy that. And we'll come back over here to Google. Gotta love Google in that matter, right? Let's go to the legal dictionary here. Friend of the court. Okay. So why is it important to know that we filed friend of the court's letters in the matter of feeding the homeless on the 16th Street Mall? You know, I'm just going to do the stupidest of stupid Google search and go Fort Lauderdale homeless feedings. This is not new, okay? There's oh darn it, why didn't that work? So that's the Miami Times. That's not the article I want. I want the federal court-backed activists who feed homeless in Fort Lauderdale. Chief Pazin of the Denver Police Department should be looking at this information. Okay? I don't really want all this advertising, but I guess we have to deal with it. Scroll down for content. Oh, there we go. So, let's read this article together. This is Food Not Bombs. A group whose symbol is a clenched fist holding a carrot won a legal victory over the city of Fort Lauderdale on Wednesday, when federal appeals court found its weekly events to feed the homeless were protected under the Constitution. Okay? Which grew out of anti-nuclear protests in England, now has chapters around the United States. Okay. Did Occupy Denver grow out of a protest movement? They did. And the ruling involved Shakespeare, the Bible, and the history of Thanksgiving. Okay? It's a richly expressive activity to share food. Sharing food is not illegal. And they said that the suite of ordinances aimed at the homeless, okay, which is what the protest is about. Oh. Yeah, so there's some paid posts. The significance of sharing meals with others dates back millennia, stated the appellate court's opinion. The Bible recounts that Jesus shared meals with tax collectors and sinners to demonstrate that they were not outcasts in his eyes. See Mark 2:13-7, Luke 5:29-32. In 1621, pilgrims and Native Americans celebrated the harvest by sharing the first Thanksgiving, broadcasting in public. You guys got that? That's recorded. They just walked right past me as I'm broadcasting and didn't say a damn word. The appellate court did not rule on the case at whole. It solely found that it was wrong to dismiss the grounds on the First Amendment to not apply. Okay, guys, so we're getting into some more meat and potatoes. But we have got to do some more research on this. And that's why I'm doing this. Because y'all... Liberty Freak, don't you know I'm in court today for assaulting? I was videotaping a homeless man being threatened with detox or incarceration and kidnapping. And because I pull out my video camera, I have a hearing this morning for assault. Yeah, I'm being arraigned. Thank you, Spirit in the Sky, for the non-spitting incident. Oh, yes, SWAT style. Anyway, we're going to keep on the discussion here. Guys, this is so important. Okay, you guys are in the middle of history in the making. We are in 2019 in Denver, Colorado, being threatened with arrest for protesting by feeding the homeless on the 16th Street Mall, where the Denver businesses are actively paying. They've helped to raise $500,000. $500,000 in order to fight a citizens initiative called 300, right? And 300 Denver Survive is all you have to type in the Google bar. right? And I'll give you an image on that. So, Denver Rights to Survive initiative on 300 would make it illegal to kill people by taking away their survival gear. Okay? And that happens in Denver because we have garbage trucks. We have garbage trucks driving down the street where people's property is thrown into the garbage even after the city came out and said, oh, we're going to settle. No, they're still doing it. So Initiative Ordinance 300 is going to allow us this language right here. Shall the voters of the city and county of Denver adopt a measure that secures and enforces basic rights for all people within the jurisdiction of the city and county of Denver, including the right to rest and shelter oneself from the elements in a non-obstructive manner in outdoor public spaces, to eat, share, accept, or give away food in any public space where food is not prohibited, to occupy one's own legally parked vehicle or occupy a legally parked vehicle belonging to another with the owner's permission, and to have a right and expectation of privacy and safety of or in one's person or property. So that is another Denver sheriff's walking by, watching me use my computer and my phone to talk and have a live stream conversation. So we're obviously not disturbing the peace in the Lindsay Flanagan Courthouse while we're doing a live stream, right? So these are just the factors. So the right to survive is a citizens initiative policy brought to you by Denver Homeless Out Loud. The main opposition, Together Denver, has gotten $100,000 from the Downtown Denver Partnership and $50,000 direct payment from Tammy Dorr of the Downtown Denver Partnership. So you guys were here not too long ago when Jerry went to court, and he's not doing his community service hours, because it wouldn't matter if those were 5 community service hours or if they were 100 community service hours. He got a ticket for sleeping on the sidewalk, for sleeping and living in a tent. And as a veteran who is a Marine, he said, I'm not serving that. Put me in jail for trying to survive. Put me in jail for using the skills and techniques that the government gave me to teach me to survive on my own. Put me in jail for utilizing them to survive in Denver when I'm kicked out of my housing for no fault of my own. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not at fault for living on the streets. I'm a veteran who's disabled. I have struggles, right? There's no housing for him. Section 8 housing is military housing. You need to understand that. When the city has an ordinance that says 4 stories or more, you can buy out of responsibilities for participating in Section 8 housing, they're saying, build a 20-story building and don't house any veterans in it. It's legal. Okay? Yes, it is awesome, lady, that he's using those skills taught to him by the government to survive. That his municipal government, his federal government taught him, and his municipal government makes a crime. How does that work? Is that constitutional? We believe that the Fort Lauderdale case should not be unconstitutional, and that it's not. We're not serving food as a charity, but to communicate its message. That's direct action. Hi, Clash. So guys, when you look at boycott, the urban camping ban, boycott the urban camping ban. We'll get there. When you go to our page, boycott the urban camping ban. Internet's slow today. Let's have a look. All those people are waiting to have their constitutional rights violated on them. Because what happens is you have to sign a waiver of your rights, that you understand your rights, you're pleading not guilty, all that jazz, before discovery is given to you. So, look at that. There's Liberty Freak and Bonnie, some of our individual friends who are feeding the homeless every week. And there's some pictures, some music being played, right? Next 24th, we're still having a boycott. We got this letter up. If you guys didn't know, we put up an open letter to everybody to be able to read. Now, we'll see if Jamie gives us an open letter about his stuff. Guys, I want you to go read this Boycott the Urban Camping Ban letter. Well, I do, but I'm not going to make them watch it for 3 hours, Clash. Come on. Too high a price and too high a price too. Move on to where? The reason I'm citing these in this article, and I want you guys to look at these as well, is that these are the citations that the law students put together. And I'm just going to click this one here to show you more of it.
It's still here.
Hey, it's our famous leader.
Several groups now.
Of several groups, because you're a leader of Antifia. You lead the World Organization. She's the fearless leader of Occupy Denver, a terrorist organization linked to Hezbollah, and MS-13.
I'm a badass. Not kidding.
Right, she's joking. That's Karen. Well, here's the deal. Clash. Here's the deal. My evidence is preserved for a court of law. The government's responsibility is to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. You can't see this that happens. Karen, do you see those little specks of water on my screen?
No, not without my glasses.
Not without your glasses? There's tiny, tiny specks of water on my screen. Those tiny specks of water are from me speaking. That's not intentional.
He does spittle when he speaks. So does Eric Brown a lot. You have to turn your head when you talk to him, or you got to figure it out unless you want to spit on your face.
So, thanks, Miles. So the idea that I assault is an intentional effort, right? But I spittle, that's an accidental effort.
He forgets to swallow his spit or something. He gets so excited.
I'm not like that.
He gets so excited when he talks. He
Too high price.
It out. He just spews it out. He just spews it out.
I'm a natural sprayer. Okay, guys, so we're going to get off that topic. She says I'm a natural sprayer. Too high a price. Move on to where? It's part of our public documents and records because we are citing students of law. Nadiana Ruyan, Eli Zwiebel, Michael Bishop, Bridget Dupé, Nicole Jones, Ashley Klein, Joshua Mitson, and my personal friend, Darren O'Connor. Okay? I will. Here's the abstract that you guys need to focus on. Why we protest. Over 2 years have passed since the University of Denver Sturm College of Law's Homeless Advocacy Policy Project released its report, Too High a Price, detailing the tremendous expenditures Colorado cities make in an effort to criminalize homelessness. As Denver housing costs continue to skyrocket, its homeless epidemic has grown as well. That's me. So anyway, guys, I'm going in. That's me. You want to stay with my stuff, Karen?
Not yet.
Oh.
I'm just letting people know where they are.
Okay. Because it's a long process.
It's a long process and people get a little...
Yeah.
If you continue to
So
let them know where people are.
Yeah. I heard you call my name.
I did.
6. We'll be here for another 2 hours, folks. Okay, thank you.
Hopefully not.
Anyway, so we got a conference call in 15 minutes, so I got to go to that shortly. But let's carry on with this reading right here. As a follow-up, okay, as Colorado housing costs continue to skyrocket, its homeless epidemic has grown as well. Unfortunately, state actors continue to write, pass, and enforce ordinances that criminalize some of our most basic life-sustaining activities. Laws such as camping, sitting, or lying in public, begging, and loitering disproportionately target behavior affected with homelessness, leaving one of the state's most vulnerable populations living in fear. As a follow-up to Too High a Price, this report details the increased efforts to criminalize homelessness in the state of Colorado through an explanation of examination of Colorado's 3 most prominent cities, Denver, Boulder, and Colorado Springs. This report highlights the stark rise in enforcement of anti-homelessness laws and the disproportionate and inhumane impact they have on the day-to-day lives of people experiencing homelessness. In the process of examining Colorado's ever-increasing criminalization of homelessness, we found that law enforcement frequently issues move-on orders to remove visible poverty from its city streets. A move-on order, also referred to as a police street check, is a law enforcement technique used to further enforce certain ordinances, including camping bans, in lieu of issuing a citation or making an arrest. Officers are instructed to instruct homeless individuals upon contact to pack up their belongings and to move on to somewhere else. At first glance, these move-on orders may seem like a viable alternative to outright issuing citations. However, with the extreme decline in affordable housing and the lack of emergency shelter space to accommodate Colorado's growing homeless population, these move-on orders leave homeless people with nowhere to go. Instead, they're merely pushed from one place to the next. To analyze these trends of criminalization of homelessness, we utilize open records requests to obtain data detailing the enforcement of anti-homeless laws in Colorado Springs, Denver, and Boulder. This data revealed that Colorado cities have increased enforcement more than we anticipated. Furthermore, we researched the adverse effects of move-on orders that have on homeless populations. Based on this research and data, we came to the following conclusions. The overall number of anti-homelessness ordinances have increased. There's an increase in the number of citations, the number of costs. Denver's use of move-on orders have skyrocketed at an alarming rate. In 2016 alone, Denver law enforcement made contact with over 5,000 people in encounters. Police increased its contact with homeless individuals through use of street checks 475%. in 3 years. And there's more spittle on my screen.
You need a screen wiper.
This is just the abstract, folks. This is just the abstract. No, and that's why we're here today with Karen Sidaro and Brian Loma, live in the Lindsay Flanagan Courthouse, because people don't.
Injustice Center.
The Injustice Center. And Karen, you've been protesting the urban camping ban since it was initially created, right?
Yeah.
So when they passed that law, there was a protest at Snooze Bakery or Snooze, the eatery.
Yeah, I didn't go to that one because I was falsely incarcerated for other stuff from Occupy for a while.
Okay, but
at the end of that, yeah.
But at the end of that, and Janet was there from like day one, right?
Day one, yeah.
So what we have is 7 years of street protesting, feeding the homelessness, and yes, we are broadcasting live from the Injustice Center. Lady, isn't that ironic how many times we've been assaulted for such? And the police the Denver sheriffs walked by us today, and 3 times now, and they have said nothing. Nothing. Who would have thought? That means we're fighting and we're winning. Does that mean we're 6-0 now? No, we only count them when we actually go to court. So, thank you. Yes. So, so guys, the reason that we're talking about this is because yesterday was Sunday, and Karen, you watched this live because you've been put on an area restriction, right? Falsely having her free speech silenced because we're feeding the homeless on the 16th Street Mall. And 303 Cop Block tried giving his business card as a business owner to the police to identify himself, right? Another gentleman who showed up yesterday for the first time claimed the tables.
Yeah.
We've been covering, for those of you who are just catching up, Fort Lauderdale and Food Not Bombs, who took it to the Supreme Court to prove that it was a religious freedom to be in the public forum feeding the homeless. The Bible, the Constitution, and even the Pilgrims feeding with the...
Don't spittle on me.
Feeding with the indigenous. All were protected. Citations that gave the Food Not Bombs group, a civil disobedience organization, the right to express in a public forum while feeding the homeless complaints against the laws that criminalize those who don't have a place to live. Okay? They are threatening to arrest people like Marianne, like Bonnie, like Janet, in the same way that they arrest me and Karen. They're talking about putting 60 and 70-year-old women whose weapons are spoons.
Yeah.
Spoons, folks. We get it. We fit in. Some of us broadcast. Some of us serve food. Some of us talk to the human beings. Some of us rebroadcast the issue over and over and over again so that it keeps reaching new people. Michael Hancock, he supported this law, right? He got into office 8 years ago. It's been a battle that we need to take to the election box. There are many people running for city council offices to repeal the urban camping ban. There are people running mayoral campaigns to enforce the camping ban. That's right. There's actually a mayor running on the platform that homeless deserve to belong in jail and that people do not have a right to live on the streets. It's sad, but it's true in the city of Denver.
And Mayor Hancock actually took money off of from the homeless with the to pay for the sweeps, to sweep the
yes. So that's what happened, folks. Yeah, people have had the money for services is being displaced. The Downtown Denver Partnership and its affiliations are contributing $500,000 to promote and preserve the laws that criminalize human beings.
How can we keep in power a mayor that criminalizes homelessness, that takes away their blankets and sleeping bags in the snow and the freezing weather? He is inhumane. We need to get Hancock out of the office.
That's right, folks. So listen, there's one more question, and that was the blue meters, the meters, so people can put their change, like they pay a parking meter. They can put that money in those things, and that's supposed to go to groups like Colorado's Coalition for the Homeless to provide much needed services and actually hire people to provide services, right? That's the money that Hancock took and used for street sweeping, for garbage trucks, for contracts to non-governmental agencies that become quasi-governmental agencies when they go clean the streets and move people along. Follow the money of the blue meter. Yes, lady. Thank you very much. It's to save tourism. Listen, every Colorado resident over the age of 18 has the legal authority to grow 6 cannabis plants, 3 flowering and 3 non-flowering, in their home. It's tripled rents in the state of Colorado and the city of Denver. There is no need to encourage tourism. We have mountains, we have festivals, we have 300 brewery festivals. Deal with the homeless in humane ways.
But God forbid if you have to come here as a tourist and look at homeless on the 16th Street Mall. They don't want that. They want to get rid of the homeless.
So house them.
Out of mind.
House them. Give everybody a place to live. Use some of the 500 campgrounds that we have in the city of Denver and make them campgrounds, city parks. We have over 500 city parks and 0 campgrounds. This is the message that we have to have. So I'm going to get off the phone because I have work to do. I love you all. Thank you for hanging with me. Please smash that share button, right? Love on Karen Sidaro. She is missed so bad at our meetings, her loud voice. I think it's time that we broadcast her chants and her screams and her yelling. So one of you folks who are sitting at home today, create me an audio file or a video of Karen Sidaro protesting so that we can play it on the 16th Street Mall since she's physically not allowed to be there. We're going to do that next Sunday. Oh, no. That's right. Karen is coming back to protest with us. Woo! That's right. I love you all. Thank you. And remember that we don't do this alone. We do this together. We are a family and we are a community. We need you to call Commander Sanchez, District 6, the mayor's office, 311 if you live in Denver, and ask why they're trying to jail people who feed the homeless. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, Steven, we thank you too, and Brian and AK, roses for Karen. I really got to go call into work, guys. I love you all.